Chapter 1, A Rift in the Veil. It began as a whisper carried on the wind across the vast plains of Rohan, a low, grinding hum that set the teeth of every living creature on edge. The horses shied and the birds fell silent. Above, the stars that normally gleamed like eternal beacons seemed to dim, flickering as if struggling to hold their light. Then, without warning, a jagged seam tore through the sky like a wound in the very fabric of the heavens. No star fell, no fire burned, but something ancient, something old beyond memory, slipped through that tear, far beneath the surface, in the deep black reaches of Khazad-dûm, where the silence of ages hung thick and dwarven bones lay undisturbed. A pulse echoed through stone and shadow. Boom, boom, boom. It was not the sound of war drums, but something more primal, more elemental. The very stone itself seemed to weep beneath the vibration, as if the mountain itself mourned a long-forgotten agony. In the ruins of a forgotten forge, amidst the dust and ash of a world once great, a figure stirred, encased in shattered green armor, stained with the patina of time and the blood of horrors unspoken. He rose. His breath was silent. His heartbeat absent. Yet he moved. The Doom Slayer had arrived. He did not ask why. He did not need to. Chapter 2, Gandalf's warning. The wind howled with biting fury along the jagged spine of the White Mountains, cold and sharp as elvish steel. Atop a lonely peak, Gandalf the White stood, his cloak rippling in the storm like a banner of hope. His eyes, clouded with visions both terrible and ancient, stared out toward the horizon. "He is here," Gandalf murmured, voice low as the coming storm. "The last titan of a dying age." Aragorn, standing behind the wizard, frowned. "Who?" Gandalf turned, his face grave and pale. "A weapon not of this world. Forged in flame so primal that even Morgoth himself could not have imagined its fury." Far below, where the dead marshes festered in eternal twilight and the black gate loomed like a dark sentinel, something stirred, the air grew heavy with dread. The world was about to change. Chapter 3, Minas Morgul burns. The Doom Slayer moved alone through the shadowed woods of Ithilien, his boots crushing brittle leaves and brittle memories of forgotten wars. He did not need a guide. His rage pulled him like gravity toward the foulest scent in the air, a scent of death and decay that no mortal should bear. Minas Morgul, the city of wraiths, stood like a broken faun, a jagged scar against the mountainside, glowing sickly green beneath a shroud of darkness. From its ramparts came screams, anguished and endless. And above all, a high, piercing shriek split the night. The Witch King that he came without ceremony. No trumpet sounded. No battle cry. The gates buckled under the weight of his wrath. Undead poured forth like a plague, orcs twisted by dark magics, pale beasts snarling with hunger, and wraiths that shivered with cold malice. Gunfire roared. A cacophony of blood and metal, shotgun blasts shattered bone. Fists crushed skulls. A chainsaw ignited, screaming with unholy joy, as the Slayer carved a path of ruin. Through the endless tide, the Witch King watched from his tower, eyes narrowing. "This is no elf," he whispered, voice low and venomous, "no man." Chapter 4, The Council of Fire. At the foot of Mount Doom, a camp flickered with the torchlight of men, elves, and dwarves, a final alliance, born not of friendship but desperation. Gandalf stood at its center, his voice heavy with the weight of countless ages. He will not speak. He cannot be reasoned with. He does not serve us. But his hatred of evil burns purer than that of any living soul. Legolas eyed the silent figure sharpening a massive blade with meticulous care. "And if he turns on us?" Gimli grunted, tightening his grip on his axe. "Then I pity us." The silent warrior said nothing. His eyes, cold and unyielding, stared past the council, toward the darkness rising. Chapter V, The Black Gate. The plains before the Morannon stretched wide, a graveyard waiting to happen. Trolls howled from their pens, and orcs pounded their weapons against iron shields, the sound like thunder rolling across the poisoned sky. The gates opened, and the Doom Slayer walked out first. They rushed him like animals, claws and teeth bared. He met them like a god. Each swing of his blade was a hymn of annihilation, each shot was a prophecy of doom. He moved through the battlefield with the grace of fury incarnate. Jaegers of war crumbled before him, bones shattered, blood spilled in rivers. When Aragorn led the charge behind him, the tide had already turned. Even Sauron's great eye flickered with doubt. Chapter 6, whisper of the rift deep within the burning heart of Mount Doom, Frodo faltered, the ring pulsed beneath his finger, a voice older than time itself, whispering promises of power and dominion. But now, another voice echoed. Not words. A roar. A presence. As Frodo stood at the edge of the fiery chasm, the world behind him erupting in chaos, he saw it, the Slayer, standing amidst the flames, untouched, as if the very fire feared him. He did not speak. He only looked, and Frodo understood. The ring did not fall. It fled. Chapter 7. The Witch Kings fall above the fields of Pelennor. The sky darkened as the Nazgûl circled like crows sensing death. Their shrill cries pierced the air, a prelude to doom. But it was not a man of prophecy who met them in the smoke and dust of battle. It was the end of prophecy itself. The Witch King descended in a tempest of shrieking fire, a black blade pulsing with sorcery that bent the sky. On the ground, the Slayer stood waiting, steel clashed with sorcery, black blade against argent rage. The Witch King screamed curses older than the world, ancient words twisting the very air. But the Slayer answered only with silence, his fist struck with the weight of a falling mountain. It shattered the Witch King's helm and broke the curse that bound him. The wraith fell, gone as if he had never been. The battlefield fell into a stunned silence, then erupted into chaos once more as hope surged through the hearts of the living. Chapter 8. Aftermath of war. With the Witch King's fall, the tide of battle turned irrevocably. The armies of Sauron faltered and fled. The Black Gate fell silent as the living reclaimed the field, but the Doom Slayer did not celebrate. He moved like a shadow through the aftermath, eyes scanning the ruined land, untouched by fatigue or triumph. Aragorn approached him, his own sword bloodied but steady. "You fought with the fury of legends," he said. "We owe you our lives." The Slayer said nothing, his gaze turned toward the horizon, where the dark veil still rippled faintly in the sky. "We do not understand who, or what, you are," Gandalf said, appearing beside Aragorn. "But you are part of this world now, whether you wish it or not." The Doom Slayer's silence was answer enough. Chapter 9. The Hollow Saint. Weeks passed, and the story of the green-armored warrior spread like wildfire. In taverns, campfires, and the halls of kings, they whispered of a being unlike any other, the Hollow Saint, the Silent Flame, the last titan of a dying age. He was a myth, a legend forged from fire and blood, a figure who appeared when all hope seemed lost and vanished when peace was won, but no one truly knew where he came from. Or where he would go. Chapter X. The Grey Havens. At the edge of the world, where the sea kissed the sky, the Grey Havens awaited the last ships to carry the elves away. The Doom Slayer stood alone, gazing out over the endless ocean. Galadriel approached, her presence both serene and powerful. "You are not of us," she said softly. "Not of this place. Yet you have saved us all." He did not nod. He did not bow. Instead, he turned, and vanished. Epilogue. A world remembered. The Fourth Age dawned with a fragile peace. The shadow had been broken, but the memory of the war lingered like a scar. In the tomes of this new age, scholars wrote of the hero who saved Middle-earth, not a man, nor an elf, nor a dwarf, but a titan from beyond the veil. The Doom Slayer's legend endured, a reminder that when the darkness rises, sometimes the world's salvation comes from the most unexpected places, and the world, even in peace, never forgot him.